Hello everybody, it's SHAZIZZ here. Let's have a little bit of fun together tonight and show you a few things, and maybe you could show me a few things and such like that. I've got a YouTube channel. All my subscribers, you all know about it, and if you stumbled onto it, then you've seen a lot of crazy stuff, you've seen a lot of cool stuff. The thing I want to do with this video is kind of point out what it is my YouTube channel is really all about. And with that said, if you get an opportunity, you go over to www.SHAZIZZradio.com. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. There's a chat room. If you go to www.SHAZIZZradio.com/superchat.html, you can actually chat to a lot of different people and researchers from around the globe. And you can listen in live on the radio shows that are 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central on Saturdays, and 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central on Sundays for the Nights of the Roundtable. And I encourage you to join in and send me a contact request over at Skype, so that if you have any questions about anything, you can just call me up and talk to me direct. I'm wanting to talk to all of you. I'd like to get you all in the same room at the same time and just, have a talk about everything. So what is it you're looking at here on this table right here? Most people only look in one-dimensional, or maybe even two-dimensional. Some people might even be able to see three-dimensional, but when I look at something, I see past its initial deal there. For example, let's start off on this table right here and work our way around to different things on this table. And I'm going to probably talk super fast so that I don't keep the video real long. But at a flea market, thrift store, or secondhand store, whatever you want to call it, I came across this nifty little gizmo right here. Let me see if I can hold it steady. You can see it. Now, what is that nifty little gizmo? A Humi air cooler. It's a evaporative cooling toy. It's a little toy for kids that has some science in there. And there's a lot of really cool toys out there, such as the Pop Pop boat and the drinking bird and more. There's just so many you can't even count that have some real good science in there that you can learn things from. Now, what this little gizmo here does is it only cost me $1 US. And I bought it at the thrift store, like I said. And what it does is it's a evaporative cooler deal. You take this thing right here and you take off and you look up inside of there, and you'll see that there's some little slots in there that has some material, like either cloth or, let's see, this feels kind of like a felt or something like that, a wool. But what happens is, you put water in the top up there. Let me see if I can do this without, this is the first time I tested it, and so I hope I don't get leaked on and all that kind of stuff. But you fill the little pool up with water, and it has a little catcher tray down here. And water will absorb down into those cloth deals right there. And then you put your face back on, and if I can get it back on, then you turn the little fan on. Well, what happens is, as that water is evaporating, and my gosh, that's really cool. You'd be surprised, man. It makes a huge difference. It's like a little mini air conditioner. And so when I first saw this thing, I'm like, that would be really good in the survival kind of deal. Even though this is a toy, it would keep you cool. But you don't just stop there. You take that idea and you expand on it, because whatever can be made on one scale can be scaled up or scaled down. And so if you could get enough power generated via a little solar panel to run a fan or battery bank that you could charge up using hydroelectrics or thermoelectrics or piezoelectrics, all the different ways that we know that we can generate electricity, even the earth battery, then as long as you got enough to run that fan, gravity does the rest, and nature does the rest. Basically, you got some evaporative cooling going on there. I'm going to shut this thing off and move it off to the side here, but I'm pretty impressed already with how good that little thing worked. It's got a really cool little deal going on there. So that was a good find there at the thrift store. And You see, if you see my last video, you saw this nifty gizmo right here, which I just took a project box and stuck a igniter out of a barbecue inside there. And essentially what you got going on here is a nifty high voltage charge. Don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get it up there closer. Probably mess up the deal. We got a high voltage charge going on there that you could pulse something like a little mini Tesla coil that would have normally been pulsed with a Slayer exciter, such as this little nifty gizmo right here. Let me plug that one right there in if you're into wireless energy stuff, and see if I can get that bulb to light up. Look at that. All right, that's a 9-volt battery lighting up a deal wirelessly using a tip 42C transistor, a couple little diodes and a resistor and a coil of wire with a primary and a secondary. Really simple circuit. You can find that on SHAZIZZradio.com and the Mad Science podcast page as well. And you know, check out Ryan Abrams and Terry Woodruff out there on YouTube. They've got they're really good at the Slayer exciters and stuff like that. So, you know, they could give you some information, and then come over to SHAZIZZradio.com and join in, and we can swap ideas and stuff like that. Anyway, I got to push this button over here. It's always something trying to get in the way. You know, you buy a certain antivirus and it wants to continue to tell you to buy me again, buy me again. Anyway, so when everybody sees what normally would look like a doggone table of junk, I see potential. I see potential in energy, and that's what my videos and my YouTube channel is all about, to get people thinking outside of the box, you know, not believing that things can't be done, you know, that where there's a will, there's a way. You can repurpose all kinds of junk, such as this little electric motor. You know, you put electricity in one way, it's a permanent magnet motor, and you get the motor runs. Well, you can also, I don't know if you can see that or not, I'll try to spin that with my finger. Just spin that with my finger a little bit, see, you get a little bit of voltage going on there. That kind of deal right there with any electric motor, any permanent magnet electric motor, you hook a little fan blade up to that, stick it up on a pole, and you got a wind generator. Alright, so it goes on and on, you know. Recycled copper wire to build your Tesla coils that you can get out of all kinds of electric motors, tons of electric wire. You got the magnetrons that come off of your riding lawnmowers and weed eaters for making a magnetic generator that pulses a high voltage discharge. These igniter coils come off of modern day cars, and all you need something is a pulsar circuit, such as a little buzzer unit like this one right here to ignite that thing. Or you could get a little bit more advanced and have somebody with some sort of electrical be able to build you a circuit. There's also alternating flasher lights circuits out there that you can scrap out, that you can use to pulse in sequence. You know, one coil on this side, and then it flips over to the other side, pulses them back and forth to build you a static engine like the what I'm working on. You can also find these little magnetic ballasts that work pretty much the same way, that whenever you put the energy to it, when the field collapses, it creates a higher voltage. So whatever you're putting in there on AC current, you know, it'll boost that up from that collapsing field and send you out some juice that can light up a fluorescent light bulb. These little blinker light switches, I've pulsed coils with these right here. And keep in mind, we're not talking about running the entire house or anything like that. We're not talking about over unity or 0 point. We're just talking about using some different kind of things to, you know, supplement your electricity, or even for emergency purposes, be able to charge up batteries and such. Things like this right here, this particular one here is an AC. It's like a 9-volt AC transformer, but in the DC versions, there's a bridge rectifier down there that you can use to change your AC current into DC current. And then it's already ready built. All you got to do is pop off the transformer core portion of it and tap right into that bridge rectifier, and the output side's already ready for you. You plug it into your device and you're ready to go. Solar panels, whatever, you know, there's tons of ideas. Fun with LEDs and Hall effect sensors. You can take and make a deal like I did right here that tell you the north and the south pole of a magnet, so that you can put your magnets positioned the right way. Inside of your air purifiers that they got modern days is a nifty little amplifier circuit for taking AC current to DC current to a high voltage. You see that there's a series of capacitors and diodes in there wobbling back and forth, and it's like a doubler circuit or a tripler circuit. In this case, maybe even quadrupler or even farther than that. But these are things, you know, my grandpa used to say, one man's junk is another man's treasure. And these are kind of things that if you know ahead of time and you have a situation where, hey, you need to charge something up, or you need some high voltage or whatever, you can know what to look for. And so this is the kind of thinking that I like to put on my YouTube channel. Little gizmos like this right here that you can find in flea markets. This little nifty thing right here, because it's got a dual use. You know, one is like a chime to let you know. Let me see here. Is that battery even in there any good? Oh, there it goes. It's a motion sensor, and it'll tell you, and even has an alarm portion on there that's really obnoxious. So there you go. Voila. That'll wake you up. Somebody trying to get in your doggone window or your door. You got a little already made security system. This particular brand's made by Ideal. I found that at a thrift store. So, you know, man, where do you go to from there? I got all kinds of junk. Some wise guy one time asked me if I was a hoarder, and I guess maybe to some extent when it comes to electronics and gizmos, yeah, I am. And here's another deal that you never really think about, you know, in the worst case scenario. Doggone telephone, man. These old things right here, at one point in time, you couldn't give them away. But now they're starting to get famous, and now people are starting to want them. And so, what can you do with these doggone things? Well, I watched a nifty YouTube video out there, a guy that turned these into a couple, doggone it, couple intercom systems. I don't know if you can see this real good, but you take one of these two-ways right here, and pop off the back, and all you need is that red wire. Let me see if I can hold that steady enough. All you need is that red wire right there. Split that red wire and put you a 9-volt battery clip on there like that. And doggone, you can take two of these old style phones and you can plug them in and then turn around, find your 9-volt battery wherever you put it in your pile of junk. Plug that thing in right there. And let's see what's going on here. Listen to that. And see if I can get that up there a lot close enough for you to hear that. Testing 1 2 1 2. Hello, baby. See, I can listen to myself. I can have a conversation with myself on the telephone. Alright, well, hey, sounds kind of not that much, but think about this for a second. If you got a neighbor and you need communications with the neighbor and the power grid's completely down and you know a little bit about stuff like this, well, you can put a little power supply to your phone line that's already connected over to his, or even stretch a line there for that matter. And you can still be able to communicate along that line to whoever's got a phone. Now, I don't know exactly how the phone number situation works, how it picks out the individual phone, and I'm actually going to do some research on that to see if I can make some sort of in-between kind of thing. But either way, the whole purpose of this video is to point out that the reason why I do my my mad science channel like this is to get you thinking past just the single dimension or the double dimension or whatever, just to get you thinking outside the box, to looking at things a little bit different than the average Joe, things that you could use in a survival situation, such as this nifty evaporated cooler thing. You know, that's just a toy. But is it? Is it just a toy? You could actually scale this thing up to a full-size version, and there's actually some YouTube channels out there where they do similar things. Folks out there on YouTube, there are some brilliant individuals out there that have all kinds of ideas. Now, instead of running an AC, doggone air conditioner with a heavy-duty compressor in there, if this is going to supplement your cooling enough in your house, you know, you could stay cool with something like that simply by running a fan and letting a little bit of water go down in there. And it, like I said, it has a little tray down in the bottom that recaptures the water. And so when the water runs out, just pour it back up in the top and let it run through a second cycle, you know. And from what I understand from reading the box, it says that you put cold water in there, you know, makes it even better. So who knows? Throw a few ice cubes up there and let the ice cubes melt and drip down. There you go. But all this stuff right here, all this junk, like I said, Grandpa said that one man's junk is another man's treasure. And if you know what you're looking for, not only can you find bargains at these flea markets and secondhand stores, but you know what not to throw away. Things that you could find inside of microwave ovens, you know, for repurposing. Man, you can repurpose just about anything under the sun. See, our world wastes so much stuff. And we have so much potential to literally design systems to work in perfect harmony with nature. And that's what we're talking about over at SHAZIZZradio.com and Wake Radio and TCT and 1800 Online and Scotty Sovereigns on the Land and People to People Radio and all the networks that are coming together, that we share all this information with one another. And we got ideas just flowing in like a river, and it's just wonderful. So, you know, if we had it in the perfect world, we could literally tap into what nature's already provided: the wind power, the solar power, the earth power, static energy, hydroelectrics, thermal electrics, everything from using a volcano to make your steam, to volcanic vents to heat your water or warm your house. And the perfect grid would be that, you know, wherever there's lightning, it'll be collecting and storing energy and sending it over to our neighbors in the next state or whatever. And we could do all this stuff. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. And when I talk about free energy, sometimes I get mocked and ridiculed, laughed at, and oh, there ain't no such thing as free energy. You can't get out more than you're trying to put in. Well, I try to make them understand that I'm not trying to get out more than I put in. I'm not trying to get over unity, nor am I trying to get 0 point. What I'm trying to show people is literally that we can have free energy. We can tap into what nature's provided without making nature angry or without polluting our own environments. And we can have all the energy and all the electricity we want. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Energy flowing to your house. You can leave your lights on. Nobody will complain anymore, because they don't have to worry about the bill. Now, outside of the fact that there's greed and the bogus so-called global warming, so-called energy crisis of the world, we don't have an energy crisis. What we have is a common sense crisis where we can't get everybody to the table to do what is right for humanity. For Pete's sake, here we are in the year 2015, and we're using highly refined, really hot radioactive material to boil water. We're still in the steam generation. All right? And so, you know, you're asking for trouble. You got really hot radioactive material, you're boiling water, and if it gets out of hand and gets too hot, then you have the potential of a hydrogen explosion. And it's not necessary. None of that stuff is necessary. And if you don't like burning coal, then let's do it another way. But I have to tell you that it's never going to come via any representation. It's never, ever going to come via any corporation or any power company out there. They'll do and say what they can, just the bare minimum, so that you won't be angry at them and you'll still keep buying their product. But if we're going to save this planet from the imaginary global warming scam, if we're going to save the planet from the imaginary energy crisis, then what we need to do is start listening to people who think outside the box and common sense. When I look at this table full of junk, I see potential. All right? My buddy Ryan Abrams over there at Abrams Lab, he built this for me because, number one, he's an artist. He does some really amazing work. But that's a Slayer exciter. All right? Wireless energy. We have the potential to literally send wireless energy across the globe to one another and use what we need and store what we don't and give away what we can to everybody else and his brother. Tesla showed it. Tesla told everybody how they could do it, but it was a little greedy folks that decided that they couldn't put a meter on it. They didn't want to give it to you. But it's up to you to take it, literally. And I'm looking at my time over here. Doggone it, I'm up to 21. No, I don't know what I'm up to. 21 minutes and 36. It's going to be a big video. Alright, well, anyway, I've rambled on enough. Basically, my YouTube channel is about us doing the right thing and making the advancements into where we should have been a long time ago. We have the capabilities, we have the technology, we have the talent, we have every single answer to every single problem and the solution to go along with it to fix this world. We can make this world a better place for not just us, but for our children and our children's children and the future of all humanity. I'm asking you guys to join me over there at SHAZIZZradio.com and Awake Radio and TCT and 1800 online and Scotty Sovereign's on the land. All the links are on my YouTube channel. All the links are on the website. There's a Facebook, there's a Twitter, there's a Skype. Same username on Skype. Contact me and let's do this thing together. So with that said, I'll end this super long video. I hope you've seen something or learned something from it. And this doesn't even scratch the surface, folks. What we have at our disposal, the access to the internet and one another, there's nothing that we can't do in common sense and love. So with that I'll leave you guys with peace and love to everybody. Take care. This is SHAZIZZ signing out for this go. Stay tuned.